Ambassador Kethvar of the Zephyrian Collective trembled as his ship approached the outer perimeter of what was once considered the galaxy's backwater region. 200 years had passed since the Galactic Council had voted unanimously to exile humanity from civilized space, condemning them to the Outer Rim, a collection of barren systems deemed worthless by every major species. Now, those same worthless systems blazed with the light of 1,000 worlds, each one a testament to humanity's stubborn refusal to simply fade away. "Sir," his navigation officer whispered, "we're detecting massive energy signatures. The humans, they've built something incredible out here." Kethvar's mandibles clicked nervously. The Council had sent him as an envoy tasked with negotiating humanity's return to the galactic community. What they hadn't expected was to find an empire that dwarfed their own. The communication array crackled to life. "Unknown vessel, you are entering the sovereign space of the Terran Federation. State your business or be escorted out." The voice was calm, professional, and utterly confident. Kethvar had expected anger, perhaps even hostility. Instead, he heard the tone of a civilization that had grown beyond the need for petty revenge. "This is Ambassador Kethvar of the Galactic Council. I request an audience with your leadership." A pause. Then, "Very well, Ambassador. You will be escorted to New Geneva Station. Please follow the designated flight path exactly." Within moments, sleek vessels appeared around his ship, not the crude, boxy designs the Council remembered from humanity's exile, but elegant craft that seemed to bend space around them. Their escort moved with precision that spoke of technological advancement far beyond what any Council species possessed. New Geneva Station materialized before them like a small moon, its surface bustling with traffic from dozens of species Kethvar didn't recognize. As their shuttle docked, he noticed something that made his blood run cold. Several of the aliens wore human military uniforms, while humans worked alongside beings that looked nothing like any known galactic species. "Welcome to the Outer Rim, Ambassador," said the human who greeted him. Director Sarah Chen was smaller than most Council species, but her presence filled the docking bay. "I trust your journey was comfortable." Kethvar struggled to maintain his composure. "Director Chen, the Council wishes to discuss humanity's return to civilized space." Chen's smile was polite, but carried an edge. "How generous. Please follow me. I think you'll find our uncivilized space quite interesting." The tour that followed shattered every assumption the Council had made about humanity's exile. The Outer Rim hadn't been barren. It had been unexplored. While the Council species had fought over the same territories for millennia, content with their known worlds, humans had pushed into the galaxy's darkest corners and found wonders beyond imagination. They had discovered the crystalline gardens of Zirion, where living crystal formations generated energy that powered entire star systems. They had made first contact with the void whales, massive space-dwelling creatures that could fold space-time, enabling instantaneous travel across galactic distances. Most remarkably, they had found and allied with the architect species, ancient, beings who had been building megastructures in deep space for millions of years. "The Council always wondered why we were so adaptable," Chen explained as they walked through laboratories where human scientists worked alongside architects to design planet-sized computers. "They never understood that our greatest strength wasn't our technology or our numbers. It was our willingness to make friends with anyone willing to be friends with us." The tour continued through vertical farms that fed billions, orbital shipyards that produced vessels capable of traveling between galaxies, and academies where dozens of species learned from each other. The diversity was staggering. For every human Kethvar saw, there were 3 or 4 aliens from species he'd never encountered. How? Kethvar finally asked. How did you build all this in just 2 centuries? The same way we've always built things, Chen replied. Together. While the Council spent decades debating whether to share a trade route, we were out here making genuine partnerships. The Void Whales taught us about space-time manipulation. The architects showed us how to think in geological timescales. The Crystal Farmers of Xerion gave us unlimited clean energy. In return, we gave them our music, our stories, our perspective on what it means to be alive in an infinite universe. They arrived at the station's central hub, where a massive holographic display showed the current borders of the Terran Federation. Kethvar's legs nearly gave out beneath him. The Federation controlled nearly a third of the galaxy, not through conquest, but through alliance and mutual benefit. The Council exile was the best thing that ever happened to us, Chen said, watching his reaction. It forced us to look beyond the comfortable mapped regions you all fight over. It made us realize that the galaxy is vast enough for everyone, if you're willing to go find your own place in it. But the Council... We want to welcome you back, Kethvar managed. We realize we made a mistake. Did you? Chen's voice remained pleasant, but her eyes hardened. Because from where I stand, the Council made exactly the decision they intended to make. You wanted us gone, because we were too different, too unpredictable, too willing to change the way things had always been done. She gestured toward the observation deck, where hundreds of species mingled freely. Look around, Ambassador. Do you see any Council species here? We've sent invitations to join the Federation to every world in the galaxy, yours included. The Council worlds were the only ones that never responded. The truth hit Kethvar like a physical blow. Humanity hadn't been waiting for the Council's permission to return. They had transcended the need for the Council entirely. While the old powers squabbled over ancient grievances and traditional territories, the humans had built something new, something better. What do you want from us now? He asked quietly. Chen's expression softened slightly. Nothing, Ambassador. But if your people ever decide they're tired of fighting over scraps while the galaxy burns around them, our door is always open. The Federation welcomes anyone willing to build instead of merely take. As Kethvar's ship departed New Geneva Station, he composed his report to the Council. How could he explain that the species they had exiled in disgust had become the galaxy's greatest civilization? How could he tell them that humanity's response to rejection had been to create something so magnificent that their exile had become irrelevant? Behind him, the lights of the Terran Federation continued to shine. A beacon not of human supremacy, but of what the galaxy could become when beings chose cooperation over competition, exploration over exploitation, and hope over fear. The Council had wanted to teach humanity a lesson about knowing their place. Instead, humanity had taught the galaxy that there were no limits to what was possible when you refused to accept someone else's definition of your place in the universe.